Hello, my name is Laura Ann Welly. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Patreon today, if that's okay. I'm going to be launching my Patreon again. I'll tell you what it is in a minute. In just a little bit. This is actually the first official recording on my Patreon, but I figured if you're going to be interacting, you're going to want to know what it is. Patreon is a website, but I guess more like an online community. It's a place where creators, supposedly me, can meet an online fan base or following of art lovers, which is ostensibly you. Instead of having to pay me, for instance, for a huge painting, I've been working on bigger and more complex paintings. Instead of having to pay me for a huge thing like that, or trying to follow all of my artwork but you haven't found something yet you love, or just trying to support local artists in general, or artists with a specific message, there is a way that you can still help and support. Patreon is how. Also PayPal and reimbursing people for emotional and educational labor, but I digress. You can pledge a very small amount of money or a very large amount of money, or basically anywhere in between, depending on what your creator is doing. And you basically can choose any number of people. So for instance, this will be my Patreon. This will include my artwork and paintings and thoughts and how-tos and craziness. But there's also musicians out there and sculptors and people who are working in educational fields. Please go check out anyone that you think that you could support on here. But so that small pledge or large pledge, mine for instance ranges from $1, $5, or $10, all the way up to $500. And if you're wondering why the two highest tiers on my Patreon are called Leviathan and Cthulhu, it's because I'm pretty sure anybody that can afford to pay that is fictional. Anyway, I wanted to let you know that those tiers exist to reward patrons for their kindness. So the higher the tier, the more content to which you have access. If you can only afford $1 a month, that's good. That's great. Seriously, thank you. You will still get to see my paintings. I'll post higher detail things on there, the stories behind how those pieces got made, or sometimes just funny stories in the paintings, access to special sales, as well as I will be writing everyone who signs up a thank you letter by hand for this very first month. So, but let's say for $5 a month, those patrons would also get access to, DIY or how-to videos. If I do a giveaway of some of my sketches, which is actually, if you've seen any Sea Creatures sketches recently, that is what we are going to be doing the giveaway of. They're able to vote as well to help decide which pieces I make next. So if you love some things or hate some things, you can give more input on that. And that continues all the way up. So for instance, $10 a month gets all of that and their own perks. Okay, is it $5 a month? $5 forever? Once $5? It's kind of going to be up to you. So I will tell you Patreon bills on the first of every month, and I'm going to do my very, very best to remind you when that time is nearing. But let's say you do give $5 once. Okay, check out what that artist has created. If it's a musician, watch all their videos, participate, comment. And if at the end of that month you don't feel like you've gotten a $5 experience out of it, okay, yeah, then you can just follow the video that I say to remind you, or cancel it, and then you can be done supporting that particular artist. But do consider, it's like buying someone a coffee once a month to sit in and see their studio and see their process and kind of be able to open up their mind and get them to listen to you as well. Keep the love going as much as you can, but you're not mandated for any period of time. So trying it won't hurt, Now, technically, options for payment if you use Patreon are either monthly or like if you pledged $1, then it would be $1 per piece. I'm going to do that monthly, and sorry, oh no, first video. Why? I am a bit of a cliche. I am an artist who struggles with mental illness. I'm very earnest and frank about that, and we can talk about that in later videos, podcasts, comment sections, whatever we decide on. And that's kind of part of it too. What we decide on. You, the community, and me, the creator, will figure out what we like best, what's new, what kind of ideas we can explore, and how to break out of our own boxes, me creatively, but again, creating a conversation with an artist or saying, wow, this piece of music inspired me, or hey, I really support the message that you're sending out. I would give an example. I'm about to go see the Even Albright exhibit. I hope that's how I pronounce the name. If you want to yell at me for it, you absolutely may. I'm going to go see some of his work at the Chicago Art Institute, and I will actually be reporting back for anyone that decides to subscribe. But he does these creepy, interesting, hyper-realistic paintings, but it's not necessarily marketable. It's not necessarily profitable. There are all kinds of bags and prints with Starry Night on them, or Monet's lily pads. And those are important and some of my favorite pieces of the Expressionist period. But I also love H.R. Giger and being able to see complex, interesting, and sometimes dark things. And sometimes creators don't make those kind of things anymore. I know I don't make that kind of dark stuff quite as often because I've been trying to make marketable things. Please buy my paintings. So this is another way that you're sort of opening it up for artists to explore more and take bigger chances. So I very much encourage you to do this. I suppose in summary, what's most important to me is that Patreon is an innovative technology for a really old concept. Great civilizations and vibrant cultures throughout history have, the arts, sculpture, music, design, theater, poetry, prose. It helped shape those great societies. And that's the sort of society in which I want to live. So that's why I privately support some other artists on Patreon. I have tons of thank yous to one of my Patreon creators that I follow. But I also have about 20 other thank yous that I'm also going to do. So for now, I will just say I couldn't possibly have done this without the loved ones in my life. Subscribe to see more, and the AMA video is coming up soon. AMA stands for Ask Me Anything. So if you have any questions, you can leave them underneath the video right here. I hope you all have a fantastic day. I would love to just have the opportunity to show you what I can do as an artist, and hopefully you end up subscribing. Have a magnificent day, evening, week, month, year. Anyway, I'm Laura. Bye!